Okay, so here we are. So going through, like I said, today would be a brief session telling you about the overview on IELTS. So let me not waste any time and give you an idea. Okay, so to begin with, the first thing that I would like to tell you is IELTS, International English Language Testing System. This is an eligibility, or I would say measure of your skills in English. And how do they measure it? They measure it in terms of 4 parts, that is listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now, many of you would be thinking that is the language about these 4 aspects? Yes, every language is actually about these 4 basic aspects. So is English. So when I talk about the IELTS exam, they are basically testing you in terms of your skills in listening, in terms of your skill in English reading, writing, and speaking. So we'll quickly I'll remember, like I think like you guys are asking, I'll be addressing all the pointers here, and as we are going forward with the classes, let's say by Monday we'll be starting with listening in detail. So we would be getting into all the important fundas of reading, of listening, from those sessions. All right, so just like Sadish asked me, I would be also addressing what academic and general, the difference between both the tests are. So before that, let me tell you the basic IELTS exam, whether academic or general. Make sure, guys, you all have some notes to take in case you are people who are busy. I understand we have a lot of professionals also who join in. So in case you're busy, remember to take up the session later, and whatever I have asked you to make notes on, make sure you write them down so that you don't forget. So the first thing that I want you to write down is the test duration. The test is for 2 hours and 45 minutes precisely. Okay, and that includes, like I said, listening, followed by reading, followed by writing, and then you have speaking. Okay, so going forward, what is IELTS listening? So I'm starting with IELTS listening, which is a test which is for 30 minutes. So make sure you just write or make a note of this aspect, that listening or IELTS listening is for 30 minutes. Now, I have written a sentence here that the listening test is the same for IELTS academic and general. Just like Sudesh asked me, what is the difference between IELTS academic and IELTS general? So IELTS academic is a test that is usually taken up by students who want to do some sort of a study abroad. All right, whether it is a degree program, that is degree as we call it in India, abroad you call it an undergraduate study. Further on, if you're looking, just like Megha said, she wants to do or pursue her master's abroad. So again, in English countries, you call that a graduate study, a postgraduate program, or a graduate study. So all those people who are going for any diploma, any degree course or undergraduate course, like I said, or you're pursuing your master's post-graduation, or in English countries, it's popularly called as you're joining a graduate school, or you're a person who is doing any sort of certification, any sort of a study program, you guys are supposed to write IELTS academic test. All right, there are 2 modules in IELTS. So IELTS academic is for study aspirants. Now, there is a very distinct category also which goes for IELTS academic, that is doctors and nurses. They are supposed to write IELTS academic. Paramedics are also supposed to write IELTS academic. So these people who are in the medical profession, they are usually asked to write IELTS academic, whether they are working or not, they are supposed to take this up, apart from students. So who is giving IELTS general? People who want a PR, people who are trying to migrate, people who are looking out for a work permit, people who have some sort of a dependent visa access. All those people go for IELTS general. Now, IELTS General, there is a specific requirement of at least 3 years of work experience. If you don't have that, trust me, your agent is making money, because even if you give the exam, you will never go through the express entry, especially for countries like Canada. There are many others who are also looking at express entry. For example, Singapore, or you're looking at European countries like Sweden, Netherlands. Such countries, if you do not have a specified 3 years of experience, not 2 year 11 months, not 2 years 10 months, 3 years of work experience, if you don't have, you are actually, even if you give a general exam, you are not going to reach anywhere. I've got students who have just finished 3 years of work experience, unmarried candidates who tell me that the agents have asked them to go for a general exam and they are looking at 8777. Well, that works for them. Why? Because they are much younger, they can get into the express pool faster, and they can, get a PNP or whatever they are looking out for and migrate sooner. So remember, general has a specific criteria. Only professionals go for it, like I said, or people who are looking specifically into immigration. They are supposed to give IELTS general. Rest, all the others go for IELTS academic. So I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. Yes,
Yeah,
Sudhi? Yes.
yeah. So you're saying that listening for this academic and general both will be
Are
different.
both the same. Are both the same.
So the questions and the
Everything is the same.
oh
Okay,
right.
so let me give you an example. So let's say today, I and Megha, we both go for an exam. So let's say today I have opted for a general exam and Megha is giving an academic exam. So this day, when we go into the exam center and when we are given our question booklets, remember, both of us are looking at the same listening section. So you guys should know, why is listening same for academic and general candidates? That is because, guys, this IELTS is a very skill based test. Many people, who come up, especially people who have already got a very good language sense, they come up and they are like, okay, I don't think I'll have difficulty in listening and all. I speak to a lot of candidates, I speak to a lot of people, our clients are in UK and things like that, so I don't think listening will be a challenge for me. Remember, guys, listening, they are looking at certain skill sets. IELTS is not a test of English language merely, this EL. I would rather break it down and I would say it is all about English language skills. All right. So they are looking at certain skills that you should have when you are listening to a native English speaker. So, whether you're a student or a professional, listening remains the same. That is because you are speaking to all kinds of people, whether you're a student or a professional. So listening does not have any change. It remains the same. Even on the question booklet, on a particular day, let's say, like I gave an example, on this day, if I and Megha, we are both writing the exam, Megha would be writing academic, I'm writing general. We both are looking at the same listening test. Now, many people also ask me, ma'am, IDP is better or British Council is better? I will be explaining that in the listening session when we start on Monday. So I'm just keeping that in the parking lot right now. So I hope now it is a little more clearer. So listening test, it is the same for academic and general. All right. And why is it same? Let me also tell you that it is not just the listening section that is same. I would highlight two parts: listening and speaking. Both of them are same for academic as well as professional candidates. You are asked similar in speaking. Of course, it is a bunch of questions that you are facing. So of course, the questions may be different, but how different? It is not very different. It could be the same also in certain cases. It could also be a little different. It could be entirely different. So please remember, listening and speaking, your preparation level, whether you're whether you're a academic student or you're a professional, it is on the same lines, listening and speaking. Where is the difference? The difference is here: reading and writing. Now I'll be explaining that, so let's just go forward and let's see what is there in a listening test. Now, the listening test, the next point that I would like you to make a note of is, the listening test consists of 40 questions. And these 40 questions, they are 1 mark each. So one question, 1 mark, 40 questions, 40 marks. All right, you're given a question. If you answer it correctly, you get 1 mark for it. If you answer it incorrectly, you are given 0 for it. Is there any negative marking? No. There is no negative marking in the whole of IELTS test. So I hope that's a good news. So if you're getting the answer correct, you get 1 mark. You get the answer wrong, it's a 0. That's as simple as it goes. So 40 questions, and in total you have 40 marks. So let's see how the scores are done. So let's just keep it here. I've got the scorecard below this. So going forward, this is the sentence that I want you to have an understanding of. Remember, in listening, you have 4 pre-recorded audio recordings. When I say audio recordings, remember, it's a listening test. So you have to listen to something. Based on what you're listening, you're supposed to answer these types of questions. I don't want you to make a list of anything here. These bullet points, I don't want you to write anything. I just want you to write just one point here, that you are listening to 4 audio recordings and you're answering 40 questions. Now I'll tell you why 4 recordings. Okay. Remember, I will be taking you through each and every question type. So chillax for today. We've got time from Monday to dwell on it. So why 4 audio recordings? Let me take you further. Please remember, 4 sections, now known as parts. Until January 2020, the listening test, basically that 30-minute test, it was actually divided into 4 sections. Now they call it parts. Rather than calling it section 1, now they call it part 1. All right, so this is a recent change that has happened from last year, that is January 2020. And we usually, now we see in listening, it is addressed as part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. So let me give you a quick metrics here. Every part has 10 questions. Part 1, 10, part 2, 10, part 3, 10, part 4, 10. 40 questions in total. I hope that is clear. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. 40 questions.
Yes.
Okay. So going forward, I am not, like I said, I'm not telling you whether it's a conversation, a monologue. We are supposed to study all of this starting from Monday. So just give yourself some time. We'll get in there. All right. Now, there are some skills, like I said, some skills that are tested in listening as such. Basically, I would be taking you through all these things in my classes, and I'll be telling you how to recognize each of these things, how and what strategy can be used in answering these questions. And based on that, you guys would be able to, okay, so this is the deal. This is what you guys would be getting an understanding of. Like I said, I'm not disturbing you right now with any of this. Let's go forward and understand this. This is called a band score, or a band scorecard, a band score chart, however you want to call it. Now, what are these band scores? Let me put it down in simple words. If you are looking at academic listening or general listening, the marks are out of 40. So 9 band is someone who gets 39 or 40. If you score a 39 or a 40 in IELTS, you get band 9 in listening. Similarly, as you go down, you can see that if you're looking at an 8.5, you should be able to score at least 37 to 38 out of 40. Remember, guys, that's the eligibility that they are talking about. Similarly, when I look at general candidate, they usually are given a score range, that is 7778 or 8777, however you call it. Remember that 8 stands for your listening. No other section for your listening. General candidates are supposed to score an 8, at least an 8. Student is supposed to score at least a 6.5. So when I say at least, let me give you this in some more clarity. When you give your board exam, I'm just giving you a scenario here. The passing mark is how much? 40%, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you're at least supposed to get 40% if you want to be passing your 10th standard exam. So, does it mean that all of us have actually tried to score only 40% in our 10th? No, yeah, none of us are like that. Remember, just like that, guys, many people think that achieving a 7 band and all is some big thing, or getting a 6.5 is something big. Remember, that is the minimum eligibility that IELTS is asking you. Only if you are a candidate who can manage an overall of 6.5, you can get into a program. So, what if Megha is a candidate who scored an overall of 8? Does she have a benefit? Absolutely, yes, she has a benefit, because she would be given much more priority than a student who has gotten an overall of 6.5. This is something I would like to clarify in the very first part. Remember, Sudesh, Joji, you guys are also looking at general training numbers. So your band score for listening is supposed to be 8. If you can, I would suggest, Sudesh, you should try and score this much if possible. That's
Yes, definitely.
that's yeah, that is what will give you an eligibility, or rather I would say a higher chance of getting into the pool, getting higher scores, is what you will benefit from. Mega, same for you, darling. If you're looking for a master's program, and if you want to get into a good college, you want to, explore the part-time opportunities as soon as you get there, this is not the range that you should be looking at. You should keep it there. Remember, 40% passing mark pole aanu idu. Try and at least be at an overall, your mindset should be somewhere here. That's what I would say. So, all of us who are training here at Ask Learning, remember, there is no threshold for you guys. You guys will score, if possible, a 9 in reading, also a 9 in listening also. And trust me, there are students who have given me a 9 in LRS and with an 8.5 in writing as well. It is a female candidate who has gotten us that score, and she is from Alapura. So there are people who achieve this like a dream score. I would love to see you guys also there. How do we score more? I have given you an understanding. Out of 40, if you get 35, you are at 8. If you are at 37, you are at 8.5. If you fall at 20, 22, you are here. So this is what determines your score in each of the sections in the IELTS exam. I would like all of you to take a screenshot or maybe a picture of this. With that, you guys would have this band score image in your gallery, starred image, so that you can, when we go further also, you can refer to this. This will I'll be sharing this in the class also from Monday. So just in case you want to take a picture or something, please do that and let me know once you've done. Done. Okay.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. So can I just move the screen now? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's go on and quickly understand the next part, that is reading. Reading is for 60 minutes, guys. 60 minutes is 1 hour. So 30 minutes for listening. Reading test essentially is 60 minutes. Okay, so 1 hour, and let me give you the main deal here. It is different. It is not the same test for academic and general. When I say it is different for academic and general, remember, it is not, the question types are not different, the pattern is a little different. I'll tell you how. Okay, so before we get there, let me tell you that there are, again, just like listening, you have 40 questions that you have to answer in 60 minutes. All right, when it comes to I don't want you to go through this. Yes, I'm so sorry. So in an academic test, you actually have, Megha has 3 passages to look at. So if I divide the reading section, I would say passage 1, passage 2, and passage 3. Mone, remember, it's an academic test. Academic reading is a little more difficult as well. Why? Because academic reading is purely study oriented material, not something as simple as you find in a newspaper article. That's not what these three passages are. Remember, it is at a level. Okay, academic reading passages are difficult. And how many passages do you have? Three passages. Okay, Vinay? Now, the next question that you'll ask me is, so ma'am, how many paragraphs would we have for these passages? Megha, for passage 1, you will have at least 7 to 9 paragraphs. Passage 2, again 7 to 9 paragraphs. Passage 3 can go up till 11 paragraphs. Especially on your test day and while you're practicing, you'll be like, ma'am, I was getting a headache while I was doing this. Yes, you will feel like that. It's quite overwhelming. That is because the text is hard. All right. So that is about academic reading. Now, we've got general candidates also here. Now, before I take you guys there, one second, I'll just open up. I've got the same document for general as well. Okay, this is about IELTS general, and we are looking at. So, Sudesh and Joji, you have how many? 5 passages.
5.
Yes.
But
So,
academic is 3.
academic is 3, but I'm yet to give the good news, man. 5 passages, when I say,
Okay.
every passage 1 ഇല്ലേ academic studentsന്റെ ആ പാസേജിന്റെ പകുതിയേ ഉള്ളൂ നിങ്ങളുടെ 2 പാസേജും കൂടിയിട്ട്. So
Oh.
usually general training candidates, when even if we call it, passages, what you actually are looking at is, some sort of a reading material like brochures, flyers, some sort of a info cards. Got it? It is a very simple material to go through.
Okay.
Okay. So when I say 5 simple passages, remember what I'm trying to talk about here is, just like I said, brochures, flyers. അത്രയും ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട് ആണോ മോനെ അത് വായിക്കാൻ? അല്ല. എന്നാൽ അക്കാഡമിക് പാസേജ് ഒരു ജേർണലിൽ നിന്നൊക്കെ എടുത്ത ഒരു പാസേജ് തരുവാണെങ്കിൽ, ട്രസ്റ്റ് മീ, യു വിൽ ബ്രേക്ക് യുവർ ഹെഡ് ഇൻ സംതിങ് ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ്. സോ ദിസ് ഈസ് ദ ഡിഫറൻസ് ബിറ്റ്വീൻ, ഐ വുഡ് സേ, general reading and academic reading. Now, let me tell you for Sudesh and Joji also that when you guys are, let's say, you're looking at, let's say, the first part. I would actually, just divide it into first part like that. All right. So when I'm telling you that it is the first part, what I'm trying to tell you is, first part will have 2 passages. So when I say 2 passages for general, guys, remember it's a brochure, a flyer, something like that. All right.
Okay.
So that is the first part. Appa second part la pinneyum rendu brochure anganathe rendu sambhavangal. So you guys have to, for first part and second part, you guys have simple 4 reading passages to look at, not very hard. But what about the last, the 5th passage? I would say the 5th passage is a long passage like academic. All right. It is at least, on the note down cheyidonam keto, at least 9 to 11 paragraphs. So in other words, let me take out the biggest dilemma that you guys have. Now, many people ask me, ma'am, so if general is easy, the first 2 parts are easy, where you guys are looking at brochure, all right, where you guys are looking at the flyer. But the last part for you is also an academic passage, part 3, the 5th passage. It's a long passage. So usually what I tell my students is, whether you're an academic student or you're a general student, your job is to go through both the texts. That is, a general student can practice from academic reading. Why? So that he improves in his last part. Why do I say that? Last part, for general candidates, usually അര മണിക്കൂറിൽ പോലും തീരാൻ ഒത്തിരി പാടാണ്. First 4 passages, you will finish it up like this. But the 3rd passage, because you are not used to it and because it has a tough level, you guys would be like, oh my God. So I usually tell my students, now remember, general candidates can practice from academic students so that they get a grasp of the the toughness in reading. On the other hand, I also tell academic students to practice from general reading. Why do I do that? So that you guys are able to get some speed. So Megha, remember, mane passages la matram difference ullu. Okay, passages la matram difference ullu. You guys are able to hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So you guys are able to understand now, right? I hope. 5 passages. First part, pune 2 passages. Second part, 2 passages, and the third part is basically a long passage, like you find in terms of an academic. So it is very important. As we go on, as I teach you guys this, you will understand that passages le matra ullo difference. Questions le difference undo illa. Whether you're an academic student or you're a general candidate, look at this list. Multiple choice questions, identifying information, writers views, matching info, headings, features, sentence headings. Let me take you there also. Academic test.
So we can able to increase our speed if we are attending the
Yes,
academic classes.
yes.
But we select.
I,
Okay.
I would be doing that, Mane. Remember, I would be doing that
Mm.
because you guys need to get that, our flair കിട്ടണം ഈ reading there. Reading and listening. ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം നമ്മൾ പറയത്തില്ല ഒന്ന് കത്തി കിട്ടിയാൽ you guys would be scoring nothing less than 38, 39, 40. All right. So please remember, Megha, I am sure, Mane, I hope you have understood why I have said that you guys can, remember the library access that Gitu would be sending to you guys. You guys have both general and academic books over there. If you just put in the password and if you see, you'll find all the Cambridge books there, and you'll be wondering why academic students are given the whole list or general guys are given the academic books as well. That is because we always tell people to mix and match, especially for reading. Listening, there is no difference. So whether you do an academic test or you do a general test, it's okay. Okay, so remember, you can do that because in terms of a student, you can practice your speed part. And if you're a general candidate, the best part is you guys will learn how to attempt academic passage. Where do you find your academic passage? Your fifth passage, this one. Your fifth passage. 5 passages on the general garka. So I'm not dwelling too much here. Remember, just like I told you, I have to teach you this. I'll be teaching you guys through every question type. Okay, we'll be following a particular Cambridge book for it. All the resources I've provided to you. I hope Gitu has sent all of you the library access, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Yes,
Got it.
right? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will be making use of all these things as we, go ahead with the sessions. So as and when your work is supposed to be proceeded further, I'll be helping you out with that. So keep all of that handy. So as of now, you guys are pretty clear that okay, if it is academic, we have only 3 passages. 3 passages na paranjalum, 3 big passages you have. In general candidates, of course, the first 2 parts which have 2 chota passage, that is fine, but the third passage is equally challenging. So this is about reading. Like I said, I don't want you to be dwelling here because I have to teach you all these things. Okay, now for Megha, hold on a moment. Sudesh, I don't want you to take a picture here. Megha, here is your scorecard for academic reading. Make sure you take a screenshot of it, and once you do, let me know. Okay, Sudesh and Joji, not yet. So if you're looking at an academic reading passage and you're looking at your scorecard, this is how it is. Megha, done aanengi parayana mane?
Yeah, done.
Done. Okay. For Sudesh and Joji, this is what your scorecard is all about. What you'll see is, because chalo, take a picture first. Let me take a picture first. After that, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, chalo, let's go on to the academic guys again. So, academic, you guys will be like, band 9, ivar 39, 40 reading, listening bole. 8.5 angle, they have to just be in this range. Okay, and now we general name. General 3940 alla. If you score a 40 only, then you'll get a 9 band. If you score a 39, you are at 8.5. So, what do you guys understand? The more difficult the test is, marking lenient aanu. Easy text anengil marking difficult ആയിരിക്കും. Sudesh, I hope you got the picture very clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, so when അഞ്ച് പാസേജ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് പാസേജ് ഈസി ആണെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് അത്ര ഇത്രയും സ്കോർ കൊണ്ടുവരണം to be in this range. Got it? So if a general candidate is saying that he's got a band 9 in reading, be assured he has got a 40 on 40. All his answers are correct. If a student tells you that he has a band 9, he has an advantage here, 39 or 40. All right, so he would have got either of these. Why? Because remember, like I said, the passage is difficult, so marking is a little lenient. So Mega has an advantage. 39 കൊണ്ടുവന്നാലും 40 കൊണ്ടുവന്നാലും band score 9 ആയിരിക്കും. But Joji and Sudesh will be like, അയ്യോ 40 തന്നെ കൊണ്ടുവരണല്ലേ ma'am. Absolutely yes. Okay, and the beauty is, Sudesh, I would love to tell you this, dear. I have so many candidates, both students and professionals. Just recently, I think day before yesterday, I had a candidate called Vishnu. He got me a band 9 in general reading, 40 out of 40. That means. So, students, I usually have a very good, strategies for reading. If you are people who can follow the strategies, trust me, your score will be above this 8 to 9. 8, 8.59. I can assure you this. But remember, practice cheyanda ennod idu choikille. Practice is something that you guys have to do. So remember, scorecards in the difference, manslite down. There is a difference in academic reading and general reading. I hope that is clear with. So great. So I would not take much of your time. I was wondering if I would just be taking up 2 parts today. Now, before I close for today, rest overview we'll do tomorrow, that is writing and speaking. Before I close for today, let me give you a certain link. That is, when I have, this is what I was talking about. When I opened this page, all of you would have seen this, Advanced Vocabulary for IELTS. Download as a PDF. So make sure that you have a copy of this vocabulary PDF. It is, let me show you what is it. All right, give me a tiny bit. It's a picture book basically. So remember, we are all adult learners. പ്രായങ്ങളൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ പോയി when we could learn as small children. So I would rather say that you guys should know what you are looking at. So let me just open up this thing, vocabulary. Yes. So I'll just open up the document that you would be getting as a PDF. Okay. So this is the vocabulary book that I am asking you to just put your, remember, I've already sent you the link. Okay, I've sent you the link. This is the book that you will get when you, let me show that to you again. Remember, you have to just put your name, your email ID, and of course, the captcha. And with that, subscribe and send the PDF. Once you do that, this is the PDF that you would have in your inbox. So once you're here, remember, what is this? It's a 101 words with pictures. So let's go through the very first part. Okay, so many words here. Let me just show you one word. The word is amiable. The word is not amiable, it is amiable. What does it mean? Friendly and pleasant. I would say that Sudesh is a very amiable person. Or rather than using the word amiable, you're also learning 2 more words which are much simpler. What else? Look at the sentence here. Somehow, the lion and Mary is this little girl, share an amiable relationship which no one understands. ഇങ്ങനെ പുലിയെ പോയി കെട്ടിപ്പിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റുമോ മേഘ? Can you just go and grab a tiger or a lion like that? No. Okay. So imagine the I would say the lion would be so amiable, so friendly with this little girl. That is why something like this is put. So what do you find here? The word, the meaning, and there is a sentence which relates to the image. So in this way, if you look at this word, amulet, an ornament worn as a charm against evil. Now I'll give you another example. We have this, Christians wear this konda, vendinga and all they'll wear. We've got these, Hindus I've seen. There's this golden kind of a thing, na, which is tied, which I don't know what is it called. Can anyone help me with that? Tagid. What do you call that? Is it so?
ALS.
Yes.
It's ALS.
ALS. അത് തന്നെ. So അതിനകത്ത് മന്ത്രമൊക്കെ ചൊല്ലി നമ്മൾ പോയി പ്രാർത്ഥിപ്പിച്ചിട്ട് പൂജയൊക്കെ ചെയ്ത് അത് നമ്മൾ ഇടും. Remember, what is it called in English? It's an amulet. Basically, it helps us, or it acts as a charm against evil. Sherry. So she always wore an amulet to ward off evil spirits. So here, you guys would be seeing that amuletum പഠിച്ചു. അതിനെ കൂടെ നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു സംഭവം കൂടെ പഠിച്ചു. ഓടിച്ചു വിടുക. അതിന്റെ ഒരു വാക്കും കൂടെ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. Ward off evil spirits. So please remember, every word, the meaning, the picture and the sentence are related. That's how every image is. Again, the next word is appal. There might be certain words ningalku pronunciation le doubt undavum. This word is appall. It is not appal, it is appall. The news was very appalling. appalling, appalling. Look at this meaning: causing shock or something that is horrific. The city was left in ruins after the appalling fire. The hospitals have been over-occupied after the appalling virus. I'm sure you guys are understanding which virus am I talking about?
Corona.
Yes. The hospitals are in a horrible condition. Why? I'm not talking about right now, but when the second wave came and there was lack of oxygen and people are dying, people are waiting, people are here, there, everywhere on the floors, across every ward, every department in the hospital. And how was this scene? How was it? Very appealing? No. Just the opposite of appealing. What does it mean? Appall or appalling, something that is horrible. You would be thinking, ഇനി നമുക്കൊരു തോന്നലുണ്ട്, മാം ഈ വേർഡ്സ് ഒക്കെ ആരെങ്കിലും ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതാണോ? So they should be like, Angel, ആരെങ്കിലും ഇതൊക്കെ ഉപയോഗിക്കുമോ? മോനെ, നമ്മളല്ലാണ്ട് ബാക്കി എല്ലാവരും ഇത് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. Please have that very clear in your mind. If you are talking to a English user, he would very well know about these words. Why? Because he is a user of English. That is his language you're talking about. Right. I was asking you about this word, right? Amulet. You guys didn't have any trouble telling me that it is ALS, right? Did you need a vocabulary class for that? No. It is your native language. Why should anyone train you in that? You know it from, like we say, right? As a culture, as something that you have learnt at home. So remember, ingrate words, namakku vocabulary okay aarikum. Pakshe, these are just 101 words. I want you to have an understanding of these words. Another one, ardent. You can see the meaning and the picture and the sentence are associative. I was mesmerized by their ardent performance. Mesmerized is wow. Anganathor feeling is mesmerized. So I would like you guys to download this. Where is the link? I have told you this is where you will find it. I have already sent you the link. Personally, I have sent it to you all. Megha, Sudesh, as well as Joji, I have sent you guys. So make sure you download this and keep a copy. Apart from that, I've got a few things more to tell you tomorrow. So let's connect tomorrow by 6:45. I would like to start the session. So be there, guys.